First things first, I'm going to start off with just a little bit of guide work. Spreadsheet, again, you'll have access to the spreadsheet in the description below. So it's a very, very simple method. You've got 2 buy scenarios and 2 sell scenarios. You've got 3 moving averages. You've got 2 standards and an exponential, and then there's an RSI in there as well. You have, and I will run through it. So in the first buy scenario, you have the shortest term moving average is higher than the next shortest, and then the next simple moving average is higher than the exponential, which is at the bottom. But then one candle ago, one of those cases isn't true, and that's the same for both of these buy scenarios, where just one of those scenarios isn't true, where one candle ago there was a flip in the moving average, and then the RSI just has to be above 50. And then in the sells, it's the shortest under the next shortest, so on and so forth. Again, with a flip in there, so one candle ago, that being not the case, and RSI under 50. These are the only 4 scenarios you should be taking. And then in the spreadsheet, which we'll dive a bit more into in a minute, you're going to see a bunch of data which we'll run through, and you'll get some information from there. So this is what it will look like on a chart, and in the Discord there is a link to a room which has this saved as a template so that you can just copy it straight to the chart. If you click on the link, it will come up in the top right saying copy, and you just press copy and it will save it to your trading view, so you do not have to do any work. Now, as we get into it, you'll find that each pair has slightly different settings, and they can be found here. So I've made it so just these 3 moving averages are shown. And then if we go to inputs, you can go and adjust them. So it's 1 box, 2 box, 3 boxes, and that's all you need to deal with. So in this case, I've got them set 20, 30, 73, which were the settings for a pair, although I don't think they currently are. And then you can take your trades from here. So for instance, at this cross, you can see that the 2 moving averages had crossed over, which brought all 3 into line, and we were under 50, which is this center grey line. Therefore, we would have taken a short with a fixed stop loss and take profit. I think for this pair, it's normally around 15 pips or something, and then the take profit should, in theory, run to like 50. But each pair will have different stop loss and take profit requirements. But you can see how simple of a method it is. All you've got to do is wait for your EMAs to fan out and your RSI to be on the correct side to take your trade. So you would never get faked out by something like this. You would probably have had a trade entry in here, which would be still running. But that also means that this one would not get taken, because I've done my back test so that it was only ever taking 1 trade at a time. It was not taking 1 opportunity each time. So if we now jump into the data a little bit, and you can see it on this pair, and I'll jump to a couple of others just so that you can see it fanned out. This case, you would have probably had a short on this candle. Sorry, I needed to cough. So you would have had a short on like this candle here. However, the stop loss would have maintained, and you would have held all the way through. Again, you would not have had another one over here because it was holding its entries, not entering for new ones. Now you've seen a little bit of how it works, we can jump into the data side of it, and you can see a little bit of the data that we've been crunching and continuing to crunch, because I've still not quite finished all the testing. I'm just putting up pairs as they pass or fail. So we currently have Euro USD, of which every pair I put the settings in that are finalised in the top left so that they can all be seen. So in this one you've got an RSI of 40, here is stop loss and take profits, and then running through your list you have the 2 moving averages and the EMA. All backtest results are done at 1% risk per trade. It's just something I hard coded into it. I didn't feel like coding different risk percentages in to optimize further. I just coded 1% and called it done. You can see the results. So history quality, that's directly where MetaTrader goes and polls the tick data versus the actual tick data just to check that you are accurate. And you can see that for most pairs it will say 100%. There are a few which might say, yeah, this one says 99%. 1% of, bear in mind my tests are 7 years long. They run from the very beginning of 2015 to near enough the end of 2022. So that's a lot of data to get ticks for. So you might find that some do have slightly inaccurate, but in general, most of them are on the 100% of accurate tick data. Then you have a bunch of data. You've got balance drawdowns and equity drawdowns, which it will show you their maximals. They're probably the most useful ones in there. Z-score and margin level and stuff don't seem to be related to anything. Expected payoff is a good one because it's the number of total trades, so it's the number of profitable trades minus the number of total trades, and then divided by something else, and you end up essentially measuring the amount of drawdown you're going to see by the amount of trades you've taken. So that is a nice one to look at. Other than that, you can see the win percentages. Some of them like this, they are literally borderline 50-50. However, you then look at the risk management and go, it's making more per trade. That's actually quite an even one, at almost 1-to-1. Some things like this, you can see that it was 130 for 770. So you can see that on some pairs we are getting much higher risk rewards. It's just finding what was optimal for each pair. This is AudioSD for reference. If I just expand that. And again, you can see that some things, it's like, in this case on AudioSD, I probably wouldn't take short trades. I'd only take the long. This one doesn't work, but because of the win rate, you can actually have an excessively, but because of the size of the wins, you can have a really low win rate. That threw me off for a moment there. That's fine. And then everything from here on also gets a data sheet where you'll be able to see the entries we had by hour of the day. Again, this is UTC plus 2, so this is, for me, server time, because that's how MetaTrader measures it. So you might need to convert that to your server time or to convert it to your time zone in general. You have entries by weekdays, so you can see which days of the week are most active. You can even see which months are most active, so in this case June was the most active, probably followed by January. Then you have profit and loss by hour, so you can look through each hour of the day and determine whether it's a profitable hour for you. So for example, and I'm going to make this a bit bigger for everyone to see, you can see that on hour 17, so 3 p.m. UTC is an unprofitable hour. You can see that in this case 10 a.m. So 8 a.m. UTC is an unprofitable hour, and again at just after midnight. And then again you can see your profit and loss by days of the week and by month. So you can see that in this case, on average, June is not a good one to trade, nor was December. And I would probably say July and January were suboptimal, but it depends on what sort of win rate you're looking for. Because again, these are taking averages over 7 years, so you can really look at it that way. Then it showed you the chart of the balance on the backtest run over time. You have some correlation things, so the amount of profit per unit time and stuff like that. And you can also see the amount of hours a trade would last versus its results. So you can see that on average, majority of trades were done within 48 hours. However, we did have one trade that lasted 144. So you can look at it that way as well. And again, we have this data for every single pair so that you can go and confirm what you think is useful. This is another pair with an excessively high risk reward. So you'll find that pairs with really high risk rewards will have lower percentage wins, which makes logical sense. But pairs where they're more even will have closer to 50-50. This one does have a reasonably large gap, but still has a better better win rate than some of the others. And again, in this case, I'd probably consider just taking longs or just taking shorts in some other cases. For instance, on Euro USD, it was like near enough 50, both won almost 50%. But something like AudioSD, if say long had won 50%, but short had won that 17%, then I would consider only taking long trades. You can see that with one pair that I'm yet to gather data for, as well as a bunch of others which still need testing. These will come probably over the next week or so. I'm just sitting here running run after run. The first about 80 hours of testing I literally had to throw away because I got my risk reward flipped, which cost me a lot of time. But I wanted to get the video out so people could start looking and playing with it. And again, you can see all the data for every single pair. You can see their win rates, you can see their drawdowns, you can see that drawdowns I've kept purposefully low, so most things you'll find drawdowns under 20%. Gold is an exception. Equity drawdown was a little bit higher. It's due to the volatility of gold. There wasn't excessively much I can do with it. Again, because these are all tested at 1% risk per trade, and in fact I cover it in the guide page. For prop firms and even your own accounts, I would recommend dropping it down a bit. So maybe running at 0.5 or 0.25. And for prop firms, really be looking at running 0.1 to 0.2% risk. Just simply because it's going to give you much more flexibility and much safer, because you'll be able to take trades from 3 to 4 different things at once, and you're less at risk of them all going and hitting stop loss in one go. Now, if anyone does have any questions for this, do let me know. I am always happy to answer them. With all of the testing, you should be able to therefore go and pick out days of the week and times of day which suit you and which pairs you can trade that accommodate that. I will be updating this over the next few weeks just to bring more and more pairs in. I'm going to test NAS. I'll probably test some stocks like Amazon and Tesla. They're on my board. Oil. Crypto is on my list, so I'm going to test BTC and ETH. I'm not going to do any other altcoins because I don't feel that they're going to be beneficial. We're going to have NAS US 30 and German 40 as a start, and then again I'm probably going to finish off more of the Forex pairs as well, just for good measure. If you like this video and you want to see more of it, then check the description below and you'll get access to our Discord. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps a lot. We've had some amazing growth on this channel over the last couple of weeks, and it'd be nice to keep it going. Further, we're going to be putting a more advanced version of this method where it's got a bit higher win rate, but it does use some paid indicators. The paid indicators you can access through the link to the store below. Perfect answer. The advanced version of this will have some perfect entry indicators in there. It's going to look about as complex as it does now, which is not very simple to follow. But it will have a bit higher of a win rate because the indicators behind it are just a little bit more accurate. Other than that, I will let you have fun for the rest of your day, week, month, wherever you need. And I will see you next time. This means my lives can start again. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.